from outer space. I got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins. I'm gone, I've been far away. I'm illuminated now, make a move, start a waves. I've been dreaming about flying for a long time. I had a vision from the birds, they want a cosign. Artificially intelligent way, I'm your future, past and present, I'm a fine line. Yeah, I'm a missing link of this illusion. I am not really here, I'm an intrusion. I don't feel sick, I just flow. I don't need gravity, I need roll. When I move, it's in a quick rumble. I won't ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho.
What's up, Internet? Coach Dennis here, back at you with another training vlog. And today I want to talk about asking the right questions. When it comes to asking a coach or anybody about exercise, first you need to understand that the answer to any question is context dependent. So one of the most common questions that come from people who are new and just getting into fitness is, what muscle does that work? And I mean, that's a great question because you're just starting out. And it's important to understand, first of all, what muscles do what and what they're called, and why you might care about that. But a better question would be, what muscle is that working and why? So maybe that's two questions, but without the why, it really doesn't matter, right? So let's say we want to work our legs and you just say, well, what's an exercise that could work my legs? Well, you could do squats. You could do body weight squats for a lot of reps. You could do back squats with a barbell for very heavy single reps. You could ride a bike. You could walk. All of those work your legs, but why? And what's the intended outcome that you want? So obviously it's really important to understand your goals and also your current situation so that everything can be trained in context. So let's talk about my workout today. Let's give it some context. My primary goal right now is to become a faster sprint triathlete. I have 3 races lined up this summer, and the bulk time I spend training is actually in the pool, on the bike, and on the treadmill or out on the road. And the way I measure success is, am I getting faster in those disciplines? Now, in order to do that, I still have to train for strength and power and resiliency. I do not, however, want to build muscle. I have enough for my goal. And actually, if anything, I already weigh too much. So instead, what I want is to have the muscles that I have be more powerful and more enduring, and I want my joints to be more resilient. So, the tendons and ligaments, my connective tissues. So I do something like this, a heavy kettlebell swing. I'm doing short sets, low reps, high power. Why? This primes my nervous system to be more powerful. In my last vlog, I talked about how those short duration sets at a set interval can improve the endurance of the fast twitch fibers. And also the dynamic movement of the kettlebell swing with those rapid decelerations, the eccentric portion, is great for tendons and fascia. So it's really a great full body exercise that will carry over to running and biking. I want to keep my lats powerful, so I'm doing pull-ups that carries over to swimming. I want to keep my quads powerful, So I'm doing lunges and squats. And the point being is that everything is in context, because you could question, well, I mean, you're only doing 2 lunges and 4 squats on most of those sets. That's not going to grow any muscle. And you're absolutely right. It's not enough. And it didn't feel like enough because I've spent time trying to build muscle in the past. But it is enough just to stimulate the nervous system, some power, just to keep some resiliency in the joints. And actually, I do these strength sessions often before my run training, and this helps even just prime the nervous system for my primary workout of the day, which today was running. And, this is early in the morning. If I were to come in and just hop right on the treadmill, I'd feel very stiff. I wouldn't feel a high amount of motivation, and I probably wouldn't have as good of a workout. So by spending some time with some explosive movements, I felt like my nervous system was really primed, my mind was really awake, and I was ready to give an all-out effort. And I did. It was great. So today's workout on the treadmill was absolutely brutal, but I loved it. So it was a 15-minute warm-up, followed by 3 intervals of 5-minute all-out sprints. So basically like your 1 mile effort. I'm not quite a 5-minute miler, but imagine just trying to run your fastest mile. 5 minutes, 3 minutes rest, repeat that 3 times. So, I spent 15 minutes today at what felt like an all-out sprint. I actually put YouTube on my phone and put my headphones in and placed the phone over the pace clock so I could not see my pace. I didn't want to let that get into my head. This was a heart rate workout. The only stipulation was I had to keep my heart rate above 170 during those 5 minutes, which proved to be very difficult. I felt like I had to full bore sprint. I was really struggling to actually get my heart rate up. I was quite out of breath. But that's actually a really good sign, right? So that in and of itself was a sign of progress if you're just struggling to get your heart rate up. And I got through the intervals. After the intervals were done, I actually did a little test set, just like a 1-minute effort where I allowed myself to see my pace. And I ran at what felt like the same pace. It actually felt a little slower, and it was like a 5:30 pace. So, man, I'm feeling really good on that front. So anyway, I guess my point is just everything is in context. So if you're new to the game and you want to start asking questions, first, always think about the question in the frame of your primary goal. I guess that's really all I got. Today's workout was 2 rounds of pull-ups and a combination of lunges and squats. And then I did, it was the squats and the handstand push-ups for the 2 rounds combined together. And then I did 4 rounds of pull-ups. And what did I do? I forgot. Y'all just watched it. You tell me what I did. But I finished up with 10 sets of 3 explosive kettlebell swings every minute on the minute, and then messed around with some sissy squats because I did the part of me that loves building muscle and getting that little bit of burn was still itching. I still had a little temptation there. So I decided to play with some sissy squats. I figured that'd be really good for my tendons, intentionally up on my toes here. It's training the foot, the plantar fascia, the Achilles, the patellar tendon, my core. So the objective of a sissy squat is to try to not let your hips hinge at all. And I thought maybe a little counterbalance would actually help with that. So there I'm fighting the hip hinge, able to get down with a pretty decent eccentric. Coming back up is tough though, because it's really hard to just create leverage. So like that depth, I was able to keep that sort of reverse plank. At the lowest depth, I just feel stuck there and I have to kind of hinge up. But it was fun. All right.